Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be continuing from last week's theme, which was shifting the idea of sacrifice, so that when we're kind of giving up these instant gratification habits or pleasure-seeking habits, how do we shift into that mode of not seeing it as sacrificing our happiness, but as a deeper and truer way of fueling our true and more sustainable joy, happiness, and well-being. Now, this is one of the hardest shifts to make mentally because of how often we are told and how long we have been taught in our society that this pleasure seeking, this instant gratification is what offers us happiness. That when we want something, the act of going out and getting it and giving it to ourselves is what makes us happy. Why we see it in commercials all the time, in film and cinema, the people around us, is that you want to get this now, and that is going to give you happiness of whatever it is, that alcoholic drink, that food or meal at the restaurant, that cake, the piece of chocolate, you want to go out and buy that new dress, that will make you happy. And you see the association of when you see images of people going out and doing it, and then the big smiley faces that they have, all the joy that they're experiencing. And it makes us feel like that's what we want too. So then when we go through these kind of shifts, maybe we talked about last time that it was Lent that encourages us to give up something of these immediate pleasures. It's kind of a sacrifice, or experiencing that, kind of denouncing something of pleasure to seek a deeper source of truth or spirituality. Or maybe it's based on our health or choices we're making in our lives, conscious choices to serve our bodies better, ourselves better. It doesn't mean that it's easy to shift from seeing giving up that instant gratification or pleasure for deeper happiness. It should be evident and easy and straightforward as to how we do it. It's tricky, it's hard. But where we can start is where we always start in these practices, is remembering what actually matters most to you. What are the things that help you really live from your heart and show up as the best version of yourself? And we start associating those with behaviors and ways of being in the world that really do serve us well. That when we make these choices, we show up as a person that feels good and that ends up creating these energies in the world that reflect back to us positivity, growth, transformation, love, compassion. And so we start noticing that those true sources of happiness lie within who we're being. They lie within ourselves and the choices that we are making. And then we start noticing how seeking these instant gratification pleasures, do they really serve that version of us? So when we go out and buy that new thing and put all of our focus there, we go out and we go drinking and we treat our bodies in that poor way and have to deal with that consequence the next morning. Really focus on who it turns you into after that. The mental patterns it creates within you of craving, of need, of dissatisfaction when you don't have it, of frustration when it is not there, or you don't have the ability to go buy it immediately, or what you do buy or get turns out to not be what you were expecting, or it breaks. How does that make you feel, and who does that turn you into? Or pay attention to the fall off. So after you get the new thing, you get the spike of joy, what happens a few days later? Are you sustaining that happiness? Does it help you to show up as the best version of you? All of a sudden, did you turn into a wonderful, pleasant person? And when the instant gratification fades, what happens to you then? Do you feel the next craving, the next need, the next want? And what does that do to you? After having the drink and the next morning you wake up, do you still feel good? Is it still offering that relief to you? And did it really give you sustained happiness? So we're paying attention and we're noticing, do these shifting pleasures and desires really help us to feed what's most important to us? So that would be, for me, I always say those are the energies of the heart: the love, the compassion, the peace, the acceptance, the gratitude. When I'm paying attention and using my awareness, I know that when I do things that feed these energies within me, it offers me a level of contentment and joy and happiness that nothing else can. It's very sustainable. And it serves me in every area of my life. It turns me into the person that I want to be. I feel good about who I am being. I feel really great about what I'm contributing to the world. And I get to see that the world reflects that back to me, because I'm showing up in this way. And so what I receive back from the world starts to be more gratifying. It's happier, it's more joyful. People are more loving to me. And so I'm noticing, right, that this is offering me not a spike and then a drop, but a very sustained level of contentment. And as I'm building this awareness, this is where the shift happens. Not in me forcing myself to see giving up these instant pleasures as a, sustaining happiness versus a sacrifice. I don't force myself to do it. I use my awareness to start deeply understanding the truth within it. And so then it becomes really hard to deny, right? I know that this offers me greater happiness. And so then making that switch into not seeing it as, oh, woe is me, what a deep sacrifice that I have to give up this thing of instant gratification or instant pleasure, going out and buying this or consuming this. I no longer see it as something I have to force myself to do because my brain is still telling me that's where joy is. That's hard. Trying to make yourself do that, really tricky, which is why many of us have such a hard time making habit change, because our minds still associate that thing with the easiest, most gratifying source of pleasure and joy. But what I'm saying is using this awareness and this deeper understanding makes that shift in your mind, your brain, your awareness, your consciousness, so that you're starting to feed that knowing that those instant gratifications aren't really your true sources of happiness. And you start seeing them for the disappointment that they really are, the letdown that they really are. And you get to start experiencing that true happiness and sustained happiness from the kinds of behaviors, activities, engagements that fuel those true sources of joy and happiness, which again, love, compassion, peace, acceptance, gratitude. Anything that is fueling that is fueling your well-being and your true joy, contentment, and happiness. And that develops an understanding so deep in you that now you don't see giving up those other things as a sacrifice, but as a service to self, as something you really want to do, because those I know don't serve me. This over here, yay, this starts looking like the prize. And that's how we make that internal shift that makes that habit change much easier, well, not super easy, but easier to do, and feeling more aligned with who we really want to be. If you enjoy these talks and would like to join us for group sessions or individual coaching, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. You can find these teachings and many more in my book, Living from the Heart, Healing Ourselves So We Can Heal the World. And you can find that anywhere you buy your print or audio content. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you all very soon.